Yes, it means the man himself, the one and only, the immortal, the guru of the chains, the man who knows everything there is to know about blockchains and stuff. Yes, it is Mr. Bacon himself with this week's Bacon Bites. Yes. Hello.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Bacon Sandwich. How are you, mate? How's life? How's your weekend?
I'm good. Yeah, I had a nice chilled weekend. I spent most of the weekends just chilling in the garden, drinking cider. So yeah, it was a pretty perfect weekend.
Were you eating some bacon sandwiches as well at the time, or not particularly?
I did have a little cheeky bacon sarnie on the Saturday.
And we've had this conversation before. If my memory serves me well, you're a red sauce man. Is that right? Or if I got that wrong?
Red sauce man.
Red sauce man. Yes. No, it's not divisive. Brown sauce for sausages, red sauce for bacon. It's that simple. Okay? And anybody else who wants to come up and fight me for it, I'll fight them. Anyway.
You have that problem where you've got bacon and sausage in a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, that's a nightmare.
At which point it causes a real predicament.
And then you throw a fried egg in there and as well. It's all bets are off, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just like the whole thing's just gone completely. But I make an amazing breakfast bap, which is basically that. There used to be this place that we went down to Bath. There's a town called Bath, you might know it, in the UK. And I have a place just near there, and we used to go down there at weekends. And in Bath Farmers Market, they made the most insane breakfast bap. It was like the best thing ever. I don't know what this guy did to make these breakfast baps the way they are. Over time, I've perfected something sort of similar to what he made. Unfortunately, with my carb intake having to be reduced, I can no longer do that. But breakfast sandwiches, breakfast buns, breakfast baps. Anyway, let's talk about the markets, and let's talk about these different concepts around that we're talking about, which is, Web 4 concept of multi-chain. I saw your tweet about Ethereum community. Yes, I think there is something to be said about that. Do you want to expand upon what you said?
Yeah, so I said that it's kind of testament to how people, the lack of sales on the Ethereum blockchain for the Happy Joy track is it could be down to people just not willing to pay those gas fees.
I mean, that's another thing which I think sums up this kind of concept around communities. The fact that you could buy any of the NFTs on the much cheaper chains, all three chains. Tracks I call a chain as well, even though it's on Polygon. But, you could buy them all for much, much cheaper than the Ethereum or the Bitcoin ones.
If there's a cheaper option, then surely
there's a cheaper option.
Towards the cheaper option, right?
Yeah, exactly. Except that, of course, as we know, the Ethereum blockchain has more collectability than any of the others. So go figure. Bitcoin has really, is going through the roof at the moment. It's going gangbusters. So I just find it very interesting. And it was a kind of experiment to see what community would get behind it in that respect, and I think that obviously the Zilliqa community has come out on top in that respect. But hey, there's still plenty of time. We'll see who comes second, third, and fourth, and so forth.
Yeah, until recently, I didn't realize how active the Zilliqa blockchain was. I always thought it was a bit of a dead chain with not a lot happening on there. But after sort of spending more time with NFT guys and people that are, into PFP images and NFT music and things like this, I've found that actually there's a colossal movement of people on Zilliqa. And then after actually playing around with it, realizing how easy it is to onboard people onto the Zilliqa network, I can see why there's such a following on there.
Yeah, I mean, they've done themselves no favors with their marketing, and I do feel, that, and I think this is true across the board. I think if Zilliqa was an American company, the things would look different. It's just that simple. American companies do seem to get more accepted in here. The American companies support each other, blah 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 blah. It's just the way it is. I mean, as a non-American, it seems quite clear to me, and fair play. That's America's. They salute the flag every day, so it's you can kind of understand it a bit with the way that they get behind their nation and stuff. So it makes sense that they get behind their nation's output of companies and things like that. And you can see it. There's people out there Americans that will never buy a non-American car, wasn't it? It was the whole thing is how could anyone buy a Japanese car? You know, it's one of the most incredible things that the Japanese car industry did was encourage Americans who they'd been at war with 20, 25 years earlier to buy their cars. It was insane, you know, so, but they did. So you just go to show
there's still that
anything
issue to this day of importing Japanese cars to the States. They have to be of a certain age before it reaches a criteria before you can import them into the country.
What? What do you mean they have to be of a certain age? What, the company has to be of a certain age or what?
No, the vehicle has to be a certain age before
So they don't
ship it over.
What
you can
do
buy
you
new
mean?
vehicles. You can buy new vehicles if you can buy it off a lot. And you can obviously buy them, you know, used and stuff like that. But if you want to ship a car from Japan over to the States, it has to be a certain age before you're actually allowed to do that.
I see. Wow.
That's where the whole JDM movement comes from.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, listen. You know, I get it. Everybody's looking after themselves in this world. But tell us a little bit about what. Let's come away from multi-chain for a little bit. Where's the market at the moment? I see it sort of. It took a bit of a slight dump last week, didn't it? And then it seems to have sort of plateaued again. As doing a lot more plateauing. How do you feel that the crypto market is going in general?
Yeah, I mean, my forward sort of mentality is very much sideways for the next year. It's going to be choppy along the way. You know, we could go down and visit sort of the 24 sort of areas potentially, and maybe potentially lower. But I think we're going to be stuck in this range of like sort of 20 to 30k for the rest of the year at least.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, I agree with you about the rest of the year, but I'm surprised that you're saying into next year as well. So you think it could go quite for another year, maybe floating around in this? I know it's no financial advice to anybody. It was just all speculation. Everything is all speculation. But it's interesting to you to think that, because obviously, for those that don't know, the Bitcoin cycles happen every 4 years. The next one is due next year, and I suppose, and I think we're slightly ahead of that. I think Emily said a couple of weeks ago, she felt that we were a bit ahead of the cycle in the amount of blocks that have been minted so far. But you still think that is this kind of geopolitical stuff? Do you think this is something to do with the way the world is just in general at the moment and everything's falling apart, including ourselves?
I'm just using sort of historical price charts to kind of come up with that. So generally, you know, what happens is Bitcoin finds a bottom and it rallies up, you know, sometimes 100%, which it did recently, and then it will just plateau and go sideways. Now, what happens with the previous cycle, which was unusual, we had the COVID dump, which was obviously a bit of an outlier event that wasn't sort of really sort of priced in. But it did quite quickly recover that drop and then continue going sideways. Now, what often happens with the halving is there'll be a bit of a price increase before the halving. The halving happens and then the price kind of turns around and starts to dump. And it's normally about 2 months after the halving that we then start doing crazy numbers where you wake up and your portfolio is up, you know, 40% in a day.
Yes. So you're thinking, yeah, okay. And how do you feel the sentiment around sort of NFTs are in general? I mean, not just the music NFTs, the sort of NFT artwork and stuff like that. Obviously, just come back from Lisbon a couple of weeks ago, it was really positive out there. But what do you think is the general feeling about the artwork vibes at the moment? I mean, NFT vibes. You know?
I think the communities are a little quiet at the moment. The Discords are quiet, the Telegram groups are quiet. And even some of the NFTs you'd expect to sell out quite quickly are not selling out as quickly as maybe some of the people were expecting. And I think it's just bear market sentiment. There's just less people looking to maybe get into what could be considered a slightly more risky move. So people are quite risk averse at the moment. And that will very quickly change once we break above 30k, 40, 50 and start blasting through those key levels. I think that the hype will come back and these projects will sell out 1,000 NFTs in the first few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally the same kind of feeling that I have, and which is why I'm encouraging everybody to do the groundwork now, build, a good, nice, strong community, even if it's 10 people, if it's 5 people, 10 people, it doesn't matter. But more importantly, get to know the space, get to understand you and how you sit in it, whether you're doing music NFTs or art NFTs or whatever, or if you're doing trading some crypto here and there or whatever, you know, just find
Me and my clan.
just go in there.
So me and my clan, we don't call it a bear market, we call it a build market. And I think that's a much better term, because the people that do build, you know, when the market is like this and there's less interest in it, you know, we'll see their hard work pay off in the future. Because at the moment, some people are kind of feeling that despair, that they're not making as much progress as they wanted. But you're laying the foundations right now to build something much, much bigger.
Totally agree. And if you're interested in what we're doing with Token Tracks in that regard, come over and see us. We have an office in Old Street. If you're UK based or London based, come and see us. If not, we can set up Zooms or whatever. If you're interested in the concepts, we have so much going on. I mean, this is what's really interesting. And I'm gonna have a little moan right now, right? I'm having a little moan right now, right? Which is, I know it's not like me. I'm having a little moan, right? We have got so much going on in this company that we are doing, that we are building, that we're releasing. Almost daily, we've got a new thing that we're coming up with, or a new concept, or something interesting that we put out there, you know, through social media. Like, where are these big NFT companies? What are they doing? What the hell is Yuga Labs doing? What is Doodles doing? You know, they're sitting on all this money, all this community, good-natured spirit. You know, what are they doing? You don't hear, you know, every now and again, they might do another PFP project. Wow, whoopie-doo. And it's like, really? Is that your innovation? Is it really? So that's my moan. And I'm really more than happy to sit down with anybody from Yuga Labs that's listening, or, you know, here's I'm having a moan at them, and they tell me what they're up to, and we'll, you know, great. I'd love to hear. I want to support you. I want to support all these projects. You know, because rising tide lifts all boats and so forth. And I really admire all of them in what they've done. But where is that true, real spirit of innovation? I don't really see it. I don't really see them doing any. I mean, even the PFP projects they do are just basically what they've done before, but with just something slightly different. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Bacon Sandwich? I mean, is it just me, or do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. You kind of feel like there should be more value being created around these high value NFTs, but in reality, it's kind of lacking.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they should be doing something with their money instead of just spending on, you know, I can't see what they're doing. I don't know what they're developing. Maybe they've got some incredible things that they're in development. Maybe they've got some amazing partnerships in development. I don't know. We don't hear. You know, we in the last week, maybe 2 weeks alone, we've partnered with 5 different companies, big name companies in this space with what we're doing. You know, it's like, you know, we're about to announce them, you know, over the next week or two, you know, because we're just, you know, dotting the T's and crossing the I's and all that. But it's like, come on, you know, it's like, what is people doing? And that's just in the last 2 weeks. We've got all these incredible drops. We did the Web 4 drop last week, the first multi-chain drop. You know, we're doing studios left, right, and center. Everybody's interested in studios. We're creating a curator pages. We've got loads of people lined up to be curators after the success of Wild Awake. You know, we've got so much going on. And it's like, I see innovation coming out of our pores over here at Token Tracks, and, you know, putting things out there and doing things and testing the water and trying shit out. I don't see anything like as much coming from other companies. Let's come back to the hands. The Bacon Sandwich, you were next, my brother. What would you like to add to this?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, if people know about my NFT project that I'm involved in.
Oh, communities. Please talk about it. Yes, please.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing is we are creating an NFT book. It's going to be available as a physical book as well. We're going to have up to 100 projects involved in the collaborative book. And basically, we're going to involve people's NFTs and characters and things like that within the book. It's 150 Matic for a twin page with a maximum of 2 per person. We're going to use our connections to our best advantage with this project. So we've got a partnership with the Crypto magazine, and they're going to help us get that into the magazine into 21 countries around the world. We're also working with a guy called Andy from Hungry Animals, which is an NFT project, and he is a 3D artist, mostly sort of gaming assets. So we're working with some really cool people to sort of deliver on this project. So, you know, music NFTs are, you know, a part of that. We don't have any music NFT guys signed up yet. They're mostly PFP guys so far. But the door is absolutely open for music guys if they wanted to get involved. If you want to know more, just drop us a message. We can schedule a call and we'll go through it and answer any questions and stuff you've got about it.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of communities. It's a lovely concept. And why don't you just talk a little bit about the sort of background and basics of communities, Bacon Sandwich?
Yeah, so you know, I came from TikTok, and I met a few guys along the way, and we kind of felt like after seeing all the shill spaces and stuff like that, we wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted to do more of an interview style thing on Twitter. So we saw that there were all these different communities all around the place, and we wanted to try and bring as many of those communities together. You know, and then eventually to focus on that one project, being the NFT book that we're working on. So that's kind of where we come from.
Amazing. I love that. I mean, it's just a really nice vibe of it, bringing communities. It's a great concept. Alone Architect, you've got your hand up, my brother.
I love that note. Great. That was awesome. I'm going to sample.
It's one of my favorite notes. That is definitely, yeah.
I'm going to come back and sample it after in the space and then use it in a production. Just fair warning. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I just want to say, man, I think it's really cool what you're doing. I'm always following what you're doing. And I think it's awesome to see people doing new and revolutionary things in the space. And I'm going to dig in to it all a little bit more, but I'm always paying attention. And it's just, I just really, I really appreciate you and I respect like everything you do, man. So I just wanted to say that.
Just wanted to give you a massive thank you for checking out my bacon bites today. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, where you'll find me every single Friday and every single Saturday at 9 PM UK time, where I'll be co-hosting the Community of Communities Twitter Spaces. Also make sure you follow our sponsor, Meta Builders. They have been our sponsor for well over a year now, and they are consistently pumping out amazing Web3 content. So make sure you're following me, TheBaconSandwich.crypto, and also make sure that you are following the legendary Meta Builders.